Listen, men and women both do it. They have a relationship, it ends for whatever reason. The next relationship, they want to display everything that the other person that they want to display.
So now you posting this chick.
Now you want to be on
6-month chick.
Yeah, now all of a sudden you post. Look, you never posted me on your timeline and shit.
But you got
now
a
you
new
got a new
bitch,
man, and now you always at dinner with him. You ain't never supposed to play with us.
Is it more of a rebound or is it really out of spite?
Well,
why wouldn't I know?
It could be out of spite.
I'm
gonna
know
the fact that she brought up something different out of him.
But if you
that makes him want to do that.
If it's out
of, gonna make you sick because I'm gonna tell you congratulations. I'm happy for you.
No, well, the
so
reason
who you
why
spiting?
I say that is that the reason why I say that is that there are women that could come in a man's life and make him do things he has never done with that woman that he's with. I mean, think about it. You've seen men that's been in a long-term relationship never post a chick, and all of a sudden you see him doing everything, eating food he has never ate before.
And this is why I said it is what it is, because she feels like she grooms that man for the next relationship.
Exactly.
And if that man is truly in love with this new person and she feel like, yo, I kind of set you up for that. It is what it is. What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's where the bitterness and resentment sometimes go.
Bro, you got to take it on the chin. Charge it to the game.
Okay, here's the thing. I think it's hard. It is a little bit. Yeah, like Amanda, like I think when you're young, it's kind of like, okay, I can kind of just take it off the chin. I think like if a woman, especially if a woman wants to have children and a family and she's with you, let's say she gets with you at 35. And 5 years later, she's not going to be as, I'm just going to take it on the chin because she's...
Marie, it's not even like I don't understand all that. I get all of that. I'm going to waste my time sulking and being depressed about that while he's already moved on and engaged.
A lot of people do.
I still got this to do. I still got to get married now. I still got to have the babies.
It's harder.
Exactly. It's going to be harder for me because he done moved on already and he's already in the position that he needed to be in. It's time for me. I can't. Why am I gonna sit here and waste my time being depressed about it?
I don't think it's about sitting here and wasting time. I think it's about figuring out where you may have not made the right decisions and the best decisions for you, because you may have been in this 5-year relationship, but you have to like think back and like do an accounting of like where you didn't step up for yourself or where you didn't say, you know what? This should have been a boundary for me. Or, you know, I shouldn't have let this shit go on as long as I did. Mm-hmm. Just the way you holding him accountable and you think he should have been this, that, and the other, and he didn't listen and he didn't do that, you got to hold yourself to the same
But I agree with you.
I don't think
if you're 21 years old, from 21, that happened and she's 25, okay, she got 5 years.
Even at 30.
Because at 30, your eggs dries up. It starts to dry up.
Well, don't say that.
Dry up.
It starts.
Don't say that.
Start drying up.
Yeah,
not drying off, but
yeah.
it start saying decrease at 30. It starts to say, you know, it's time to get it cooking at 30. So if I'm 30 years old and I've been with this man from 30, it starts
about to say,
talking about biology.
I think that's
but
a lie.
At 30, let's say she's 30 years old and this happened to her. She's been with him from 30 to 35. Now she's 35. This is the 5 years we talking about. You can't go, tuck it up. No, that is 35. Shit, I'm going to be 40 in 5 years.
Start thinking
Amanda,
about
hold
yourself.
on. Let me give it a reality right here. I done gave this man my whole fucking 30. I done helped him to get a better job, wrote up his resume, gave him all kind of fucking shit, and now I'm 35. Now I got to go find a man. The chances of pregnancy is harder. I'm not pregnant yet. I am not pregnant yet. I didn't find a man yet. Now I got to figure out to find a man. Now we're in a time where men are like, fuck you bitches, and I'm tired of y'all. And, you know, what they call them, passport bro? Now we in that time. And I'm 35 right now with the passport bro bullshit and all the podcast talking shit. Just listen. Just hear me out. You in this bullshit right now.
Columbia.
You watching social media every day, and you hearing black men saying y'all ain't shit, and do you bring 50 to the table and all this shit. Now you going on dates. Now we were in a pandemic, dealing with all this shit. Now we out of the pandemic. I'm trying to go on dates to find a new man, to see if I can find a husband. The clock is ticking. And all these men ain't trying to fuck with me. Let me try to take these braids out, this wig off, and put some braids in and look like, you know, Janet Jackson, try to look more natural because they say they don't want these bitches. Let me try to change it up. This is what's going through a whole bunch of women's heads. So now we're sitting back going, damn, my clock is ticking. It's harder. It's more beautiful women out here. I'm competing with the younger girls and I'm competing with the older women. I'm 35. No babies. No husband.
And what you gonna do with
So
that?
I ain't gonna go, I'm gonna shake it off and don't give a shit. I'm gonna be sulking. I'm gonna be hurt. I'm gonna be feeling
You
some
go
type of
ahead.
way.
You go ahead and you
It's
go
not that
freeze those eggs.
If it's that simple.
It's
Why
kind of
isn't it?
expensive.
It's expensive as hell, baby girl. Come on, we talking about what are you talking about? What are we talking
I
about?
don't know.
Where you get this mentality from?
I'm a different kind of breed.
Oh, you the modern girl. You the modern
I
girl.
am 25 years old,
Oh, okay.
and I already, if I don't see my life going in the direction that I want, I'm freezing my eggs. That's just me.
The problem with us women,
I
right now-
cannot
Amanda,
keep
I'ma say this.
victimizing
Amanda,
myself. I'm
I'ma say
not
this to
a
you.
victim.
This is the problem.
He's
with us.
already moved on.
That's you.
I like that
That's you.
part.
Amanda, I hear you there, and I agree
I'ma
with
be
you there.
cute.
But I'm gonna say this.
I'm gonna
to
be
you.
cute. I'm gonna be
Amanda,
sensitive.
I'm gonna say this to you.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of
You
young
wait, I'm
women
gonna be
have this
sensible?
mentality
Yeah.
that they could rebuild just like that. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm not. But the reality is this: that you're competing with so many other beautiful women. No man got to pick you. You might never get picked again. You might never. You could freeze your egg.
Impossible.
That shit could be in the freezer forever.
Impossible.
You might never get picked.
No. Let's ask a man. Let's ask a man. Let us know.
Who not picking this?
But
Oh shit!
Because Amanda's like, I'm just gonna dust myself off and I'm gonna grab me.
Get back at it.
So what I'm saying is, based on what T is the scenario that T is presenting, you're 35. You have multiple failed long-term relationships. You clearly are fucked up somewhere because you haven't done your assessment and gotten right so that you can get what you want. And you got the passport bro bullshit. You got all the Instagram bullshit. You got the, you're going to be dying along with the cat bullshit. You don't have the 30 G's to freeze your eggs. Like all
You a
like
4
all this-
or a 10
yeah, like all this. You're not a 7. So I'm just saying, like,
at best.
based on what you, as a man, how do you assess what her response is?
So to answer your question, I actually agree with Amanda in a sense where when we start thinking about why, okay, let's say the whole scenario we got, the woman's 35, a guy just, she just had a 5-year waste of time of a relationship that went nowhere. This has happened to her before, right? You got the passport bros, you got all your eggs is drying up, your shelf out. Yeah, you got all that noise. What I will say is I agree with something that she said was be sensible, right? And I think that you have to at some point start to say, how am I going to compete, right? You can't compete against every beautiful girl.
No,
you just can't, right? There's always going to be a prettier girl and there's always going to be a new, younger, prettier girl than you. And at this rate, she might even be further ahead in her career too at this point, right? So how do you compete? You know what I'm saying? And realistically, just like how most men who get a lot of girls, there's 2 ways. There's the liars, and then there's the ones who just know women more. You need to know men more. It's all you got to do. Be receptive, analyze, and implement. You do those 3 things, you won't have a 5-year relationship that fails, most likely. Or at least you put yourself in a better winning, odds and position. So then you don't have to compete. Then if you are 35, I mean, technically speaking, you should probably have more of yourself together financially, which is a better starting point for a lot of men now too. We're talking about the new noise, not the old noise. Them older heads be scared with women of money. These younger heads, we require women to have money. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different. But that's what I think.
I thought y'all don't care about our career now.
That's the old head.
That's the old heads.
Rico cares. He needs you to
Yeah.
come with a bag.
Because you
Rico
gotta
has
think about
always
it.
made it
Those old
clear.
heads, they didn't. You gotta think about it. If you like, I said this over here. My college had like 60% women. So what do you think? I grew up as 18 years old in a college facility where obviously people are trying to go somewhere in their career. With 60% of my college filled with women, you think I'm gonna think my girl is not gonna be working? You out of your mind. Now, if you go back to I don't know what the college stats was in 1990.
It ain't even 90 because millennials are the old heads. Gen X is the old heads.
Mm-hmm.
Millennials are still young. No, millennials go from all the way down to 28.
Like the original, like when
You're talking about, it's a 15-year gap. You got to remember. So 28 to 43. Let's just say, or 29 to 42.
So let's
like
just say the 38 to 43-year-olds.
Yeah, so I would say 38 and up, right? Once that
let's
threshold.
Say 35 and up.
All right, let's go 35 and up too. We could do that as well.
Millennials 81 to 96.
We always circle back to checking them dates.
The generations, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing, because but what I'm saying is, if you were in college in the 90s, which you can't be a millennial.
No.
Or the early 2000s.
Yeah. If you were in the college in the 90s, I don't know what that stat is, but I doubt, I'm willing to bet everything I ever acquired in my life, it does not have 60% of women in there, in college in the 90s. So those old heads are not accustomed to women getting money like that or setting themselves up for money. The way I grew up, first of all, I grew up, unfortunately, with a bunch of single moms around me in my area who are all working and getting money. And then I'm going to college with a bunch of women in my area who are getting money.
I think it's been that way in the 90s as well.
What, in college? I'm talking about kids being acquired. Well, an 18-year-old is not really a kid, but we consider it a kid. But 18 to 22-year-olds, you're growing up in a time where everybody is having the ability to work. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm thinking for me, like, if I'm 35 now, if a man is 35 10 years from now, you feel what I'm saying? It's not the same world. It's not the same world. You need to be sensible. So that's my opinion on that. Can you soak up? Yeah.
What about the heartbreak piece of it, right? I think the person is gonna kind of have to have this process. I think it's hard to just get up and shrug yourself off
that is
when
not
you're
easy.
dealing. Like, if you've dealt with heartbreak, right, or disappointment and things like that, I think it's a little bit more difficult to be like, okay, now if you are sitting there ruminating year 1, 2, 3 and fixated on the one that got away, it's problematic. But I think it's going to take a little bit of time for you to be like, okay, you know what? I got to move on. I don't think you just get up and be like, 5 years of my life, all right, it didn't work out, dust myself off and get back up.
That time that you take to yourself to be in your feelings, you can also take that time to, I'm not saying instead of, but also at the same time, like, figure yourself out.